Jeffrey does whatever the fuck he wants to. At least that's what he thinks. He plays video games all day, eats junk food, and goes out to party and gets drunk every weekend. He does what he wants all the time, and yet his life is meaningless and he is not happy. Adonis. Adonis does what he wants to, but through his upper desires and not his lower desires. While Jeffrey eats his cakes and donuts for dessert every night, Adonis has another glass of water. Adonis is disciplined, and through his discipline, Adonis lives a perfect, happy life. Back in high school, I played basketball for all but one of my 4 years of eligibility. And this was my junior year, and I decided not to participate in playing basketball that year because I honestly did not want to. I truly, deep down, did not want to play. Part of it was I had other things going on in my life that I needed to attend to / take care of, and I needed to put all that attention and focus into that instead of other things like basketball. And so I didn't play basketball that year in my junior year of high school. And it was kind of disappointing because on one hand, my teammates and my friends, my family even, were disappointed in me. They wanted to see me play again, obviously. But it's truly what I didn't want to do that year. And again, part of it was also that I would get real nervous while playing basketball. I think I would overthink it, and I put a lot of responsibility and stress on myself as a member of the team to where I just didn't want to play basketball that year. And so I decided to sit out that year. And yes, it was sad at first, not being able to play with my teammates and hang out with the buddies, but it was all for the best because I needed to attend to certain things in my life, which is the main reason I decided not to play that year. My porn addiction was at an all-time high. I was down bad. I had no confidence. I was really in the mud. And I started realizing things like me wanting to improve my life. I guess you can say this is where my self-improvement journey truly started. And it was at this moment when I took this year off of playing basketball and just put full effort into growing myself as a human, as a spiritual being, as a family member, as a man. And I put all this effort into making myself better and fixing things I needed to fix. It was truly probably the best year of my life that I can think of. At least, as a somewhat older person, when I was a kid, maybe there were some years where that was better, but I don't remember them if I did have those years. But yeah, junior year was one of the best years of my life. And again, it's because I took time to do what I truly wanted to do. I didn't care that my teammates and my family would be disappointed in me. I just put full time and attention into bettering myself and doing what I wanted to do. And that was truly, again, I think one of the best years of my life that I can remember. So how do you get to a point in life where you can just do whatever you want? Because I know it can be hard sometimes. Maybe you'd feel like you can't just do whatever you want because life won't let you. But I'm going to let you know how. So first, what you want to do is define your own success. And what this means is you want to look around and see what is truly important to you. So let's say you're stuck in school, right? You're going to college for some degree you don't want, but you're only going because your parents want you to, and life tells you that you have to go to college to live in the real world, right? So you don't drop out, or else, your parents are going to look at you funny, or society will think of you as a loser or something like that. To them, maybe. But to you, and in your eyes, if you truly feel like you can make it without college and you don't want to go to college because you don't want to live a regular life or you don't feel like you need a degree, then that's completely fine and you should drop out of school. Don't let others dictate what is success for you. Define your own success and what that success means. Because at the end of the day, if you can't stand up for yourself, who else is going to stand up for you? Another thing you want to do is you want to understand yourself. Know thyself. Understand your higher and lower desires. And what does this mean? I'm going to explain it. So know thyself. Know your inner thoughts. Know your feelings, what they mean. Know yourself truly. And this can take time, but just through self-reflection, meditation, stuff like that, you'll figure yourself out better. And when I say higher and lower desires, what do I mean by that? So let me put it this way. We all have desires, and we all act in our desires, right? So even something as seen as selfless like charity work, you're still doing it because either A, it makes you feel good, which is your desire, or you feel like that it is better for these people to have the money than you. And that is a desire from yourself. Again, it's all selfish. I'm selfish, which is not bad, but you need to differentiate what higher and lower desires are. So your higher desires are stuff like love, stuff like sacrifice, stuff like having to make someone loved, making sure people feel good. Things like that are higher desires. What are your lower desires? They're like the primal ones almost. So your desire for sex, your desire for food, your desire for sleep. And those aren't bad things, but when you overindulge in them, such as sex, or you eat too much, or you're lazy, it becomes bad. It becomes a bad thing. And it's always seen as selfless when someone puts these lower desires below the upper desires. So you need to understand what are the differences between those. You also want to be able to adapt. So life is always changing, and if you're not able to adapt and change with it, then it's just going to bring you down. So you need to understand that you can do whatever you want. Let's say you were able to quit the job that you hate. Let's say you were able to drop out of school and you still be able to make it. Life can still change where you feel like you have your perfect life, but then, this comes up. Then this comes up. So you have to be able to adapt, and not necessarily adapt in the sense of like adapting as in evolving and stuff like that, but adapting your mindset, changing the way you think. Okay, let's say, God forbid, you lose an arm, you lose a leg. Instead of now thinking, I can't do these certain things, I'm not able to do this, this, and this, think about, okay, I can still do this, this, and this, and I have to do this, this, and this differently. You have to be able to change and adapt with whatever life throws at you. There's a quote that says, 95% of life is how you react to it. The other 5% is what you do, what you want, but the 95% of life is how you react. So be able to adapt to different situations and certain things is crucial. Lastly, you want to be able to get comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And I know that sounds like a juxtaposition, but it is truly life-changing if you can get this down. So what do I mean by getting comfortable with uncomfortable situations? I mean that going to talk to a girl, a pretty girl you see in the distance, go up and talk to her. It's going to be uncomfortable. Maybe it would never get comfortable for you. Maybe you'll never get comfortable to that. But get comfortable with getting in uncomfortable situations. Be comfortable with saying, okay, it's going to be uncomfortable, but that's okay, and going into it anyway. That is completely doable, where you can feel uncomfortable every time you go up to a pretty girl, no matter how many times you do it. But if you're comfortable with the fact that you're okay with the results, you're okay that you will be nervous and that it will be uncomfortable, it might be a little cringe, it might be a little embarrassing. If you get comfortable with that, then you're going to be dangerous. One of the most dangerous mindsets you could have as a man is thinking of the worst possible outcome, being okay with that, and then going through with it anyway. So you see a pretty girl, you think worst possible outcome. When I'm walking up to her, I trip over my shoes, my own feet. I stumble on my words. I barely get the words out. She embarrasses me by screaming out, why would I ever date a guy like you? And a bunch of people see it, they start laughing at you, and then you walk away. Worst case scenario, if you can get comfortable with that, thinking, okay, so what she sees me stumble? So what she sees me stumble on my words, and she sees that I'm nervous, and that people start laughing at me because I tried to shoot my shot with this woman, which is completely innocent. And if you're okay with that, and you go through with it anyway, that makes you unstoppable. Now, I know it can seem almost hard or almost impossible when you hear me saying these things and thinking like, I'm so far away from this life where I want to be. I'm so far away from living the life that I want to live, doing whatever the fuck I want. You might look at that life and think it's so far away and get discouraged. And I don't blame you. It's reasonable to have your brain go to that. And why wouldn't it? Because school never taught you how to do these things. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, they never taught you how to truly differentiate what you want and what your lower self wants. So, and you've been living your life like this for most of your life, right? Up to this day, until you've become aware of it. So it seems miles away, and it probably is a very far away. You know, the life that you want to live, to where you can do whatever the fuck you want. That probably seems light years away, and it probably is. But what you have to understand is, now that you know that, and you understand how to live a life of doing whatever you want to, it may take time, but it's simple. And so why not, in effect, do whatever the fuck you want starting today, and eventually you're going to get to that life. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it probably will be sometime in a couple months, maybe a couple years. But it's simple and it's not hard. It's just going to take time. So I get it if you are thinking after you watch this video, oh, well, there's no point because I've lived my life this way my whole life and there's no turning back. Don't have that negative mindset. Truly, if you can start implementing these things today, that life that you dream of where you can do whatever the fuck you want, whenever you want, however you want, it will be here just like that, before you know it. And I strongly urge you to start trying to get to that point, to see that life that you want to live, and don't let it just be a mirage. Let it come to you slowly and surely. And I doubt that if you truly put the time and consistency every single day into trying to live the best life, trying to live the life that you want to live, doing whatever the fuck you want, it will get here eventually. Stay strong, boys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.